Your job doesn't care about you, but for some reason you do. Today I was at work and I met a guy. He was 72 years old and he completely broke my brain. He brought up the topic of retirement and I said to him, "You must be getting pretty close to retiring, aren't you?" And he said that he figured that he had a couple good years left with health, so he figured that he'd work and make more money. And I was blown away by it because I couldn't understand why he doesn't get that what he's actually saying is that he should be leaving as fast as possible so he can enjoy the rest of his time on Earth while he's still able to function and walk and move. It's like he's not retiring when he's healthy. He's retiring when he's dead. And it's insane. I don't understand it. Why would you rather work when you already know that you're going to have poor health really soon? That's when you need to quit. Regardless of how much money you have. If you're 72 years old, you're getting social security, and you should have some savings or however it is you're going to get by. And at the end of the day, this is what modern slavery looks like, to where you don't even want to leave your employer. You don't want to leave work. You're scared to leave. You're not going to leave until you die. That is slavery at its finest. Like, life is finite and we're all wasting it. We're wasting it by going to work. Working your best years and then planning to retire when you're broken is absolutely insane. It makes no sense. Like, you have, say, 50 good years and you're going to work all of them. Do nothing else but work. Yeah, sure, you have your weekends. You might have extracurricular things that you're able to do after work. But somebody like myself, I work 11 hours a day, so I don't really have that. So if I just stayed doing what I'm doing, I'll eventually hit, say that guy's 72 years old, and I would have had absolutely zero life. It's like, by the time that you make it in this construct that they've created, you're already too old to enjoy it. And most people don't understand it. It's like the economy does not care about you in the slightest. Whether you're here or not, whether you're participating or not, it's always going to keep going. It's a machine. You choose to stay in it. And at the end of the day, your employer doesn't give a shit about you. You will be replaced by lunch if they need to. Like, we have a saying at work that you're only as good as your previous day. You know, you get these guys that show up early, stay late, work weekends, always trying to take on more of a workload, always trying to do more and be better. And, you know, you could get a full year where everybody's talking about that guy and saying how good he is and how much work he's done, how much he's progressing, how he's the best. And then he messes up one day, and now suddenly everybody's talking behind his back. He's not a good employee. He's suddenly garbage. He needs to be let go. So why are you doing it? It's just nuts to even think that you will give them so much of your life and then at a moment's notice, they'll just let you go. You know, you think that they have your back, or they're going to be there and they're going to care for you and they're going to look after you, and they try and tell you that you're a family. We're all a big team. You're not a family with your employer, I'll tell you that right now. It doesn't work like that. And they expect you to sacrifice your mental and physical health for their profits at the end of the day. I mean, I know personally, I greatly sacrifice my mental health being at work. It is very toxic. We work long days. It's just not a good environment. The people that you work with, you know, sometimes you don't get the best individuals. You can get a lot of negative Nellies that you got to work with. We call them cancers in the crew. And it happens more than you think. The loyalty is just one way, too. Like, you're loyal to a company, but they're not loyal to you. That's one of the worst relationships ever. That's like being with a partner that's cheating on you constantly, but you stick around. It doesn't make sense. And anybody looking at you thinks that, like, you know, that doesn't make sense, but you stick around. And that's the same thing with going to a job that you hate every day, or going to a job where you have a boss that's an asshole, or guys at work aren't nice to work with, or women that you work with. There's just such a big personal cost to it all that I don't think we actually take into account. So, like myself, I wake up every day at 4:15. I get up, I take my dog out, we go for a walk, about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I then get home, I'll make coffee, I'll get my lunch together, and I'm normally out the door at 6 a.m. And then right now, I'm working in another town close by, so I'll have a 30-minute commute, and then I start work at 6:30 a.m. I normally finish anywhere from 5 to 5:30 p.m. and then I get home for 6. When I get home at 6, I take my dog out again. Then I come home, I make dinner, clean up, and I try to be showered and relaxed by 7:30. Where was the free time in any of that? I woke up at 4:15 and I'm not sitting on the couch until 7 o'clock at night. Well, you can imagine if I'm waking up at 4:15, I'm going to bed pretty early. Like I'm not staying up until 11 or 12 at night. So that gives me roughly two hours or so if I make it till 9. There's a lot of the times where before then I'll start falling asleep on the couch. And I think that's kind of natural because I've already been awake for so long. So at the end of the day, you realize that you have no life. You have absolutely no life outside of work. And I by no means consider life at work life. It's just not. You're not allowed to leave. You have to stay there. Like, you're only able to call in sick if you really feel bad, but why aren't you able to call in because you feel really good? You woke up feeling amazing. You're going to have a great day and you don't want to go to work. You want to enjoy your life. You should be able to call in, say, "Hey boss, I'm feeling really good today. I'm having a great day. I've got so much that I want to do, so I'll see you guys tomorrow." "Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for giving us a call. You have a great day." But it's not like that, though. If you call in sick and you're not actually sick and they find out about it, you're screwed. You're fired. On the spot. You're a bad employee. You're letting everybody down. Why didn't you show up? Doesn't make sense like that. And then we're supposed to continually show up day in and day out, work weekends, work nights, take work home with us for what type of pay? Wages aren't keeping up in the slightest. I think that we all can collectively agree on that. I don't think there's going to be a single argument on wages. So just myself, I've spent the last 12 years in civil construction. I started out as a laborer, I was a pipe layer, I was a foreman, and now I've wanted to go back to being a machine operator because running excavators and loaders is just simpler. It's less problems. You don't got to deal with people and all the emotions and the pressure. I don't see any benefit from that, and there's not enough pay to justify it. But we show up day in and day out, and the company I've been with, I'm very instrumental. I have a ticket in a certain type of welding that greatly assists the company because nobody else has it. For the first 2 years that I worked there, I didn't even get a raise. At my third year, I finally got a raise last year, and it was 2.4%. What does that do for me? Right now, I'm regressing in my work career. I'm going backwards because our inflation and the cost of living is going up by a minimum of 3%, and I think that we all can agree that that's an absolute joke. It's probably in the realm of 8 to 10% or higher. So if every year I stay at that employer and I get 2.4%, but the cost of goods go up 10%, what the hell am I doing? I'm going back in time. In 10 years from now, say if I can buy a pack of chicken breasts today, in 10 years from now, I'm not going to be able to buy that pack of chicken breasts. I'm going to be buying a frozen dinner to take home to microwave, and that's all I'm going to be able to afford. And then, the jobs want you to have so much experience, talent, dedication for such a measly wage. It's like you'll go on Indeed or a job posting website, and you'll take a look at a job, and it'll say, wanted manager or supervisor. Pay is like $22 an hour. What are we supposed to do with $22 an hour? You can't even go to McDonald's anymore and get a meal for two for under $22. You can't do anything. I just finished renting a cheap little one-bedroom apartment in town, right next to McDonald's. There was a bunch of drug addicts always outside. We called them the bent-overs because there's a lot of fentanyl problems here. And I paid $18.50 a month for that. No laundry inside, no dishwasher, nothing. Bare bones, 1970s buildings, never been updated or renovated. And I paid $1,800 a month for that. And we're supposed to be able to pay for that and love our jobs and show up with a big smile on our face. Meanwhile, our wages are not keeping up with anything that we have to spend our money on, that we have to spend our money on. I'm not talking about Netflix or Amazon purchases or things like that. I'm talking about your necessities. I'm talking about going to the grocery store and getting food, having fuel in your vehicle so you can even get to that goddamn job, and having a roof over your head. Those are the things that matter, but those are the things that cost the most. Like our gas right now is over $2 a liter. So that's $8 a gallon. It's absolutely insane. I remember 15 years ago when I was younger, for fun, we would just go for drives. You'd get in your car, throw $10 in, and you go drive for a couple hours. You'd throw some tunes on, cruise around with a buddy or whatever. Maybe you just needed to clear your head, go on a little drive, come home. But you'd be insane to do that now. You would be absolutely insane to just get in your vehicle and go driving for nothing. Just go burn $60 just to go kill an hour or two. This is something I'm struggling with, and I don't know what to do moving forward because I'm lying to myself every single day I show up to work and act like I want to be there. I'm lying to myself. I don't want to be there. I want to enjoy my life. I want to hang out with my dog more. My dog stays at home for 12 hours a day. I want to like hang out with him and be there for him and go do things together. Like that to me sounds like a lot more of an enjoyable life than going to work and being around miserable people all day for 12 hours in a space that I'm not able to actually leave if I want to. So then at the end of the day, you got to think, what do? Right? Do you just drop out of society? It's hard to do that because after a couple years, you're going to realize you have no money. And you can't even buy your breakfast or your lunch. So there has to be a way. I don't know if it's maybe moving to another part of the country or another part of the world eventually that's cheaper. Maybe getting in on more of a community-based living. I'm not too interested in just always having roommates. I would be more interested in maybe doing one of those community plots of land where 10 people kind of get together. They're all on the same terms. You go in, you buy a chunk of land, and then everybody kind of builds on their corners, little tiny homes or houses, and you have your gardens, and everybody's collectively kind of working together. That to me sounds like a life of purpose, and a life that when you get to the end of it, you're going to look back and be happy on. If I work my whole life at the job I'm at, and I end up in the hospital on my deathbed after a shift of work, I will regret my entire life.